welcome back to the Panic Room, everyone, and to another book review. So today we're going to be talking about The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things. Previously, I reviewed Sarah, which is also by J.T. Leroy, and really I can consistently say that I'm coming away from this author's work with the same feelings. But I will tell you that in this one there was actually some extra stories at the end that weren't part of that main narrative of Sarah and Jeremiah. And after reading those stories, I can consistently still say that this author's work, and I hope you guys understand this, because it's very hard for me to convey to you the feeling that I get reading J.T. Leroy. This author's work is simultaneously a punch and a caress. I know, you're like, what the hell does that mean? If you read it, you will understand what I'm saying. It is visceral. It does not hold anything back. There are all the trigger warnings for any kind of like sexual abuse, things like that. But at the same time, there is something about it that envelopes you, draws you into this world, makes you want to stay there. And to harken back to my review of Sarah, there is an intimacy to this writing that I have yet to really, I think, find a match to. And I mean, I've read a shitload of books. There is something about the intimacy here. And I'm not talking the like sex scenes or anything like that. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, you get inside the freaking bone marrow of these characters, okay? You guys know me by now. You know I love getting in the heads of my characters. There is something about the way this is written. I felt like I was standing next to Jeremiah in so many of these. You know, I really did. And to me, that is just a mark of powerful writing. Now, to give you guys just some facts, like I said, there's really no spoilers here. You are following Jeremiah's life from about 4 years old, I believe it is, when it starts, on up until early adulthood, I want to say. And you know the thing that got me, something that hit me that I wanted to mention to you guys, lots of times when we as adults meet someone that has certain tastes or certain desires or whatever, you know, we just say, okay, this is what this person is, right? Every now and then you will think like, I wonder where that came from. Like, I wonder why they are this way or have this desire or this particular taste. You get all that answered in this book because you see Jeremiah's story, you see his progression, and by the end, you understand why he is the way he is, to a degree. Obviously, we are multifaceted creatures, but you see all of these things happen to him and you're like, yeah, of course that's the way he is. You know, and for me, on a psychological level, I really was just enthralled with how J.T. Leroy was able to take a situation and then later on you see this manifestation of something like in Jeremiah's personality, and you are able to go, well, you know, obviously this happened because of this situation, or because he went through this, or because, you know, this was his lifestyle. All of that. It's so multifaceted. It's crazy. Now, for my horror lovers, this is a gritty book. Are there blood, guts, and gore? Not in the traditional sense. But this is a dark as hell story. For those of you who like the grit, for those of you who like the trigger warnings, I want to say I had a comment, and I forget who it's by, that said that whenever someone hears that there's a trigger warning, it lets them know that that's a book they want to read. Well, here you go. But really, beyond, you know, what the book's about, I wanted to get through to you, or at least try to get through to you, the absolute visceral nature of this writing. You know, and it's not like blood, guts, and gore. It's not that. It's an intimate, visceral writing. Again, I hope that makes sense. It's so weird because I come away feeling like I've had the shit beat out of me, but that someone just hugged me. You know, I know it's insane, but that's how it made me feel. You know, this story is completely messed up. Completely messed up. Some of the glimpses into Jeremiah's life that you get, you're just like, oh, holy shit, man. But then you see this relationship between him and Sarah. You see this developing personality, you know, that is happening internally with him in the meantime. And it's like watching a train wreck. You can't take your eyes off of it. Oh my gosh, it just sucks you in. I mean, I could be here forever. It just sucks you in. In a lot of ways, I kind of feel like that this one was almost easier to read than Sarah in some ways. Neither one of them are easy. Hear me on this. Neither one of them are easy, okay? I guess in a way this one came off as easier for me because as a reader, I like detail. I like a story. I like a world. And this one set it up for me. With Sarah, again, not an easy read. A damn good book, not an easy read. With Sarah, I was like thrown in, to the world. Like, oh, here you go. It's like you got dropped in. With this, it's like you went on a journey with Jeremiah. So I got to see, the progression and how he ended up where he was in Sarah. In my head. That's the way it came off to me. And let me just end this, this rambling video by saying that for my people who like horror, for those of you who like the dark, the gritty, you need to give this author a whirl. Either book. The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things or Sarah. I really think that if you enjoy this kind of writing, that you need to experience J.T. Leroy's. And, kind of judge for yourself. Do you like to be dropped into a story? Or do you want to see the progression? Because if you want to see the progression of a life, I recommend The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things. It is a little bit thicker, and in this particular edition, you do get some like shorter stories in the back. So I almost feel like this might be the better of the two if you're just looking to get into J.T. Leroy because you get a little bit more, so to speak. But if you don't think that you might enjoy such a visceral type of writing or a hardcore kind of book, maybe go for Sarah. So I guess what I'm saying to all my children of the night, those of us that like to indulge in books like this, you need to experience this author. I can tell you the story all day long. It is a terribly tragic story, but it's the way that it's written that you need to experience. And when you do, I think you will understand what I mean about how you come away with, this feeling of being wounded or being dirty almost, having witnessed some of these actions that happened, in this person's life, and also almost feeling comforted or caressed even because of the intimacy that you were allowed in on. So guys, I know, super crazy, kind of weird review, but I hope I got through to you at least some of the feelings and the emotions that my most recent read of J.T. Leroy's work, The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things, gave to me. And, maybe if, I piqued your interest, you can pick it up and give it a whirl, because I really think it's an experience for those of us who like the darker reads. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming back to the Panic Room for another review. Please like and subscribe. It would really help me out. And until next time, bye for now.